Leos, and Merry Christmas. This is your horoscope for December 2013 with me, Lada, from astrolada.com, where you can find out what your ascendant, sun and moon sign is. And always make sure you check your ascendant sign. It's very important if you know your time of birth, that is, because it's the most personal sign and the most tangible results are seen through it. So what does December hold for you, Leos? There are two big events that are happening. First of all, Mars, the planet of energy, the planet of solving problems, will be passing for about 7 months starting from December in your third house, which is a great position for Mars. It's really one of the best places where Mars can pass, because third house is the house of difficulties, and Mars is a problem solver. Mars is a warrior, a soldier who is not afraid, who is courageous. So starting from December, maybe not immediately in December, maybe for some of you it will be in January, February, but up till July 2014 you'll become more courageous. Because if there were difficult things that you were scared of doing before, that you didn't have the courage, that you didn't have the initiative to do, now Mars will energize you to get cracking with those things, especially when it comes to technical issues. Maybe some of you might learn when Mars is in the third house to operate a computer or to operate some machine, or will go on a course which teaches them new skills. And even if you never had the energy or the enthusiasm to do that before, now things will arrange themselves somehow to achieve and to invest energy more into learning new technical skills, in learning new kind of interests, because third house rules our interests, the things that we do which we really want to perfect and to be good at. For instance, if your Mars in the third house for the next 7 months can be very good for athletic achievements, or for people who are in competitive sports or any kind of competitive areas of life where they have to compete with others, because third house often rules one of the significators is other competitors that you want to overcome, that you want to do better than. So it's a great time to perfect skills, to learn new skills. In this way, outdo your competitors. And a lot of you might find themselves excited about learning new things. And these are not new, like kind of spiritual things. These are practical things that you can do with your hands, that you can do with your mind, like maybe learn mathematics, or learn to use some instrument, or learn to knit, or learn to do pottery. Any one of you, because third house rules the hands and our dexterity and how good you are, and Mars gives you, energizes that area of your house, of your horoscope, so you can become much more skilled, and much more, you can put much more energy into improving such kind of abilities of yours. And third house is also the house of the salesman, because it's the house of communication, how you talk and how you sell things. So if you're in any kind of business where you maybe trade, or where you need to sell something, this can be a very busy 6-7 months ahead for you. You can even become a bit more aggressive as a salesman, but you can become brilliant at it, because the salesman needs to be a little bit aggressive and needs to be enthusiastic, because Mars brings a lot of enthusiasm for what you're selling. I have by birth Mars in the third house, so you see I'm trying to sell you a lot of things, so I hope I'm good at that. But you'll get a few infusion of this kind of energy into your life for a while. And also third house, as we said, rules communications. So you can be more outspoken and say your opinions much more than other times, and have passion and vigor when you're saying something, whether you're selling your ideas or whether you're trying to present your opinions to others. You can become more forceful, which can antagonize some people. So watch out, because there can be more arguments when Mars is in the third house. Or if you have to protect or to fight for a cause or for ideas of yours, you will have the guts and the courage and the energy to do it now, starting from December. And your mind is third house, so Mars can really energize it and can make your mind work very fast at one thing, but at the same time it can be very rushed, so you might be reaching opinions or reaching conclusions very quickly. So be careful before you say something. Try to consider it a little bit longer. Try not to be very rushed in what you say, because you can upset others. Your communications can be a little bit more disruptive when Mars is in the third house, you can, for instance, just a second, yes. And third house also rules all connections and contacts. Say if you have a business and or if you're involved in any way of communication or media type of careers, or you might get involved in this kind of things during the next 6-7 months while Mars is in your third house. Maybe you can make a website, maybe you can put a lot of energy into networking, social networks, internet, you know, third house rules the internet, third house rules all the phones and laptops, and in any way that we can connect and exchange information. So you'll be very active in those areas of your life. If you're a journalist, if you're in media, if you're in arts and crafts, as I said, when you're using your hands, or any kind of communicative businesses, and sales businesses, this will be a very, very good 6-7 months ahead for you, even though it can be stressful, because wherever Mars passes we feel more, you know, we want things done our way and we want to push our agendas, but we need sometimes this energy. We need to push our agendas if we want to move forward. So you have more courage to initiate new projects. It's a house of self-initiation. People with Mars in the third house by birth are naturally very, very initiative. They can create their own businesses. And if you don't have it by birth, now for the next 6-7 months, while Mars is transiting your third house, you can really start some new venture or some new business or some new project. And even if you never believed you have the power for that, now Mars will help you, will bring this initiation and this courage, this making yourself a self-made person. And because Mars is also the planet which can disrupt things a little bit, which can bring technical problems and issues, especially in regards to communication. When Mars was transiting my house, even though it was just for 2 months, like I think it was in the spring, what happened is that I was starting a new technology. I started a new website, and during that time I had a lot of technical issues. So sometimes, like, computers might go broke, or phones for the next 6-7 months, or somehow the communications can be a bit disruptive, and you might have to fix certain gadgets or things that you use to connect to others, but you'll be very active in those areas of your life. If you have internet business, sales business, journalism, media, as I said, very energized area of your life. Third house also rules siblings and relatives and those people in your immediate environment that you communicate with on a day-to-day basis. They can be associates, they can be kind of not very close friends, but you know, people around you that you meet every day, the milkman, the person on the bus, your co-workers, your teammates. Third house rules, and Mars there can really energize you to get something done with teammates or in associations with others. But Mars can also create tension there, so there can be more arguments, so there can be more more opinions between your teammates and your relatives and neighbors. There can be tension there. Maybe your neighbor will start getting feisty that your bush is overgrowing on the fence, or you know, something like that. There can be those kind of tensions with co-workers, with associates, with also third house is the people you hire to work for you. Maybe you are employing someone to fix something at home, or maybe you have people that work for you, or people that you know, that you employ in some way. This Mars can first of all energize you and activate you to employ more people, because when this happened I employed 10 new people when Mars was in my third house, but it's always with a bit more stress. But at the same time it can give tensions, as I said, and it's not necessary that those people will be the problematic ones, but right now you have to deal with such issues with more stress, with more overcoming obstacles, but Mars there helps you do that. So it is, even though it's stressful, it helps you move forward with those projects and with those people in your life. But just watch out for relatives and siblings kind of arguments that can happen. Let's see, courage, initiative, competitiveness increases as well a lot. Let's see, the other important thing is that Venus is going for 2-3 months in your 6th house, and it's going to stay there. Venus always stays in a house for usually for a month the most, but this time is different because Venus starts moving backwards and forwards in that sign, so it stays much longer for you in the 6th house. So what happens then? 6th house is the house of arguments and the house of enmities, and Venus is the planet of love and relationships. So some of you might have a little bit more tensions when it comes to being in equal one-to-one relationships. So for instance, they might be more than average, more than usual arguments with the partner, or you might be trying to fix the partner and trying to improve them, and getting on their nerves a little bit, or the other way around, your partner might be trying to fix you. Sometimes the energy is projected, so the partner might be, your love partner might be trying to to be more finicky, more critical, but there is a little bit more tension. It's not a make or break relationship transit, but it's just makes those energy more active when it comes to relationships, especially if your ascendant is in Leo, and less so the sun and the moon, but you'll still feel it, a little bit more tension when it comes to relationships. But sixth house is also the house of arguments, and Venus represents women, and you might have a bit more arguments or a bit more tension in regards with female figures in your life. And again, it's not something that's going to ruin your life, but it's just something you have to face right now and overcome it and deal with it properly. And you have more charm also in dealing with this kind of issues when it's about arguments. And Venus also represents what we love, whatever it's transiting in. And the sixth house is, first of all, is the house of the underdog, is the house of the underprivileged. So for 2-3 months ahead, you might become a little bit more like a Mother Teresa, wanting to help such underprivileged. If you're working in social care, if you're helping people with problems, if you're in legal matters, when there is conflict, careers where there is conflict, where there are marginalized people, where there are marginalized issues and conflictual issues, or underprivileged people, you can have the soft touch, and you know what to do there with grace and charm because of this Venus. So it's great time to help others in need, even if you're not in any of those professions like social work or anything. You can just feel yourself that you want to help those that have need, that are underprivileged, to become somehow a bit more and do something practical for them, not just like being emotional support, but just go and help them somehow. And you can just service people, give something back, service to such people. And also Venus is relationships which are unequal. So somehow in a relationship there might be more of a sense, or sixth house is inequality. So you can form very good relationships with people who are below you, maybe people who are below you on the hierarchy, or people financially who are below you, or people who are more in need. You can form more friendship card relationships with those, or you can be even attracted, if you're a man and with Leo and Venus is now in your sixth house, or even a woman, to someone more underprivileged, maybe someone who works for you, or maybe someone who needs help. You can find love with someone who is below your status somehow and find them very attractive and charming. This is where love can go well. But when you already have an equal one-to-one relationships, it can go a bit unequal. So one of the people can take the role of subservient to the other. Usually it might be the person, the Leos, that take the role of servicing and giving more to the partner than receiving back. And be aware, don't get angry if it happens, because this is how the universe wants it to be right now, giving a bit more to the partner and to other people and to underprivileged, and helping others. And after that, when Venus moves away from the sixth house, things will rebalance themselves again. And sixth house is also pets. So Venus is the planet of love, so some of you might receive a lot of love and support from their pet. So if you've never had a pet, all of a sudden you might develop love and fascination with the pet, and in the next 2-3 months you might buy yourself a cat or a dog or whatever, and it's gonna be a source of happiness, and because wherever Venus is, this is where we feel most comforted, most joy, most happiness and pleasure. So especially if you can be around animals, make sure you include them in your environment somehow, Leos, because these will be source of pleasure to you, or working with underprivileged people, or being in contact with such people, or maybe women in travel. You might find yourself that say you're a woman, and you find that a lot of your girlfriends or other women, or even if you're a man, other women come to you which are in trouble, and they ask for help, and you're there now to help those people. Okay, what else? Venus, the sixth house, is also the house of service and working. And it's not about achievements and getting titles and honors. It's just doing the work that is presented to you. So people, when Venus is in the sixth house, you might have more love towards the things you do, towards the repetitive routine tasks that you have. You can do them with more love. They can give you a sense of peace. They can give you a sense of ease and joy as well. So if you're in a job that you hate, maybe somehow you feel more, you start loving it a bit more right now for next few months. Okay, let's see what else is happening. Sun and Mercury are in your 5th house, very quickly activating it for about 20-30 days till the 25th of December. Very quick influence, but 5th house is the house of fun, pleasure, joy, and party time. So Leos, this is a part of the year when you can shine more, when you can be more center of attention, where others feel more attracted to you because of this inspired energy that you have. It's very quick. As I said, 20-30 days the most, and you might not feel it all the time, but you might find yourself more often at parties, more often being 5th house is the house of Leo, actually, because Leo is the 5th sign, and when the 5th house, the 5th sign from Leo is triggered to become more like Leo, more like shining, more flirtatious, more fun-like, more willing to be creative and entertaining, and people who are in the entertainment or artistic creative jobs, they will have a surge of energy during this period. And 5th house is also your children. So your children, you might get more busy with your children and more doing childlike inspired activities, playful, joyful type of activities as well. And I just want to give you some specific days. Those of you who are born from the 8th till the 14th of August, or who have your ascendant or your moon from 16 till 21 degrees in Leo, 16 till 21 degrees in Leo, you're having Saturn transit. And whether you feel the influences that I talked about or no, you will definitely feel the Saturn influence. And Saturn is a planet of challenges, is a planet of delays, is a planet of self-doubt. It lowers the vibration, it can make you doubt yourself and make you feel like things are stalling, that are not moving as fast as you want. It can create some problems in regards to career, for instance, if you're born from the 8th till the 14th, because the Sun, which means that the Sun is in those degrees, which means that the Sun is your goals and career, so things can become more burdensome, you can be given much more responsibilities and hard work. Or if your ascendant is from 16 till 21 degrees on Moon, there can be some emotional detachment that happens because the Moon is your feelings, so you might feel emotionally discontent or not so happy, not so emotionally satisfied, some challenge to your relationships with women or with people that you're emotionally close to, because the Moon also symbolizes women, or if it's your ascendant, it can be, some kind of challenge to yourself on your path, and you're starting to doubt yourself, you're starting to become more serious, more responsible. It's not time for fun, even though the Sun and Mercury activate your 5th house. Those of you who have the Saturn transit will be in a much more serious state of mind, in much more responsible, in much more, just try to raise your vibration a little bit and not succumb to negative thoughts, which are easy to come when Saturn is around. Try to be more out in the sun, wake up earlier to meet the sun if possible, to watch it with your eyes, eat lighter, because the heavy foods lower the vibrations, and try to surround yourself in a more positive area. But even then, sometimes it's very difficult to overcome Saturn more dampening influence. You can do it by working hard. The best thing to do when Saturn is around, just busy yourself, try to do your responsibilities that come to you, which will be increased now to the best of your ability, whether it's your family, personal, career responsibility, but there will be some more of a of demand on you, and also on your physical body you might feel more drained. So try and raise vibrations, try and go day for day, and don't feel too negative, even if you feel like life gets monotonous and is lacking the spark. Otherwise, for all other Leos, the things are like I said earlier, and thank you very much, Leos, and I will see you for January.